as international pressure increases. Now for this hour, we start with Indian police. Indian police say the gunman killed in Australia's Bondi Beach mass shooting, Sajid Akram, was originally from Hyderabad, India, but had limited contact with his family back in India. The attack is Australia's deadliest mass shooting in nearly 30 years, is being investigated as a terrorist attack targeting the Jewish community. 15 people were killed at a Hanukkah event, including 3 victims named Edith Brutman and a married couple, Boris and Sophia Gurman. Sajid Akram was shot dead by police, while his 24-year-old son and alleged accomplice, Naveed Akram, remains in critical condition after also being shot. Telangana police have said that the family had no knowledge of any radical activity and that Akram had no adverse record before migrating to Australia in 1998. Australian authorities said both men traveled to the Philippines last month, though investigators have not confirmed links to any terrorist group. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has called this an act of anti-Semitic terror. Now for this discussion, we welcome Mr. Jordan Cope. He's a Middle East expert, joins us live from Dallas. Thank you very much, Mr. Cope, for joining us again. Good to see you. Mr. Cope, now that we've found out that, this person was an immigrant from India, what more do we know so far, and what more can you tell us about this?
So what we know so far are a few simple details. It seems like the father and son duo were of Pakistani origin, and a ISIS flag was found in their car, and according to the head of state of Australia, Anthony Albanese, it looks like they were motivated by ISIS in committing and carrying out this terrorist attack. Australia should have properly vetted better, perhaps, the family before allowing them into the country, but one must not forget the ultimate motive of this attack was anti-Semitism, and Australia has had a significant problem with anti-Semitism, especially since October 7th, 2023, whereas incidents of anti-Semitism have skyrocketed by over 300%, not just in Australia, but also other countries in the Western world, such as the United Kingdom and the United States. Australia has been warned time and time again about anti-Semitic incidents in the country by the Jewish community. Between 2023 and 2024, there were over 2,000 anti-Semitic incidents reported. The country effectively did nothing. Nobody was surprised when this attack happened, because Australia was known for having some of the most significant spikes of anti-Semitic incidents, including a synagogue that was attacked via arson last year and effectively burnt down. At around the same time as well, one might add, Australia has significantly failed in this situation to recognize the problem for what it is, which is anti-Semitism. And on top of that, instead of devising and committing to a strategy to fight anti-Semitism for what it is, Anthony Albanese, Australia's head of state, has decided to prioritize instead addressing gun crime, despite Australia already having some of the strongest gun crime laws in the world. We are witnessing, unfortunately, a very deadly rise in anti-Semitic attacks. We recently saw Jews killed in Washington, D.C. We saw Jews killed in Manchester, United Kingdom. And now we've seen it looks like at least 16 Jews killed in Australia. An attack that has claimed more lives than the Tree of Life synagogue attack in Pittsburgh several years back. Anti-Semitism is out of control, and Australia needs to get a grip on its current situation. And of course, that involves addressing where anti-Semitism comes from, including from leftist radicalist elements, as well as Islamist elements. Not to mention, also, anti-Semitism has seen a surge on the right as well, but we must address where anti-Semitism is coming from first and foremost, and at its strongest.
And, thank you for highlighting that. And Mr. Cope, as we know, this 2 people who were of Indian, not 2, but the father who was of Indian origin, how do you think that when there is no record, especially criminal record, for someone who's radicalized? How should government tackle that?
Well, government should take more time screening those who seek to migrate to their countries. They should have a more stringent process. In Switzerland, they have members of each canton sometimes convene to actually meet with prospective migrants who want to move to the country, or to at least assess their immigrant application claims. And they ultimately get to decide whether such migrants are compatible with their local morals and ways of life. And I think Western countries need to start thinking more and more about when they do approve of immigration, they need to make sure that it is indeed compatible with their thinking and their ways of life. Otherwise, it will disrupt social cohesion and ultimately pave the way for radicals to come into the country under the guise of tolerance that ultimately promotes intolerance at the end of the day, with deadly consequences. It's very important to get immigration policies right, and we've seen, especially in the case of the European Union, immigration can get out of control sometimes. And in the case of the European Union right now, we have seen a wave of violence, a wave of radicalism, and the future of Europe definitely remains very much a concern to much of the local population.
With that, I would like to thank Mr. Cope for joining us today as a Middle East expert from Dallas. Thank you very much. Now we move on to our next news. Benin has jailed around 30 people, most of them soldiers,